Hey, fellow old schoolers, Echo Greg here with another recorded webcam match. This is from the Guild House 7-point match. Quick review of my deck here. So it's a mono green. My points are 1 point for Icy, Winter Orb, Trike, Maze, and Regrowth, and the final 2 points in the box. So lower to the curve, green weenies, some 4-drops, some artifact packages, and then spells to back it up. Same deck I've been playing throughout the event so far. This is the top 4 match, the semifinals, and I'm in a mono green mirror. So let's check out Brandon's deck here. Brandon goes a little bit bigger than I do, in that he's got craw worms, and he go and a little bit more into the kind of interesting functional green creatures like cockatrice, thicket basilisk, fungusaur, Fell Knight Druid to turn all his force into creatures to go wide, and Ley Druid help with the mana, things like that. So slightly different, a bit bigger curve, but kind of try to do the same thing. I think we have a very similar creature count. I'm a little more aggressive, he's a little bigger on the top end, so should be very interesting games. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it looks like Brandon had mulligan game 1, but I just start out with a forest and pass. Library for Brandon, that's very good. I get an Elvish Archers, get some pressure on, but Brandon's often drawing with the card advantage engine here that library provides, so it's probably going to make things a little tough for me. He gets a Soul Ring in play, so now he's going to have a good amount of mana. I crack in, put him down to 18, and just pass. So even though I have 3 mana, nothing really to do with it yet, which is not really a good sign for my deck. Again, I want to be dropping lots of little weenie creatures and swinging for the face. Passing on turn 3 is not great. So he's going to play an If-Biff. I'm immediately going to kill it, so it puts him to 15, me down to 17. I thought about potentially, only draining for 2 and then draining on my turn for initial 3 to get some 2 extra damage in there, but I had 4 drops I wanted to cast, so yeah, I just killed the end of his turn. So I crack in for 2, play an Icy, and then pass. So he's at 13. He drops a Cockatrice, which is going to be a bad day for my creatures, but I've got the Icy. Like, tap it down, swing it, put him to 11. And then, looks like I just passed a turn. So again, that's Archers doing all the work for me. I have no other things backing it up, which is unfortunate. He plays a Factory. That is going to probably end the reign of my Archers being able to get in. So he passes. I Stormseeker him. Actually, I'm not sure he passes. In response to him casting the Scrap Sprite, that way he can't catch more. That's going to put him down to 5. Yeah. And then he'll play a Timberwolves too. So he's got all the blockers. And that Timberwolf with banding is going to make life difficult. The Archers is pretty much no good attack at this point. I do get to play a Pixies though. I'll tap down his Cockatrice. I swing in. So I had a Concordant Crossroads in my hand, and that's why I was thinking about that. Well, turns out I was 1 mana short from being able to do what I wanted to do, so I pull back the attack there and just pass the turn. Kind of thinking through the steps in my head how I could maximize it, and jumped ahead too much into realizing that, the Crossroads isn't in play yet, so I can't actually attack with the Pixies, and thus it's not a good attack to make at all, so just pass back to him. He gets a Tracker. Again, Tracker is going to be a problem for my creatures, and especially if he can get something that helps to pump the Tracker, like a Wily Wolf, or that's a pump spell. And he's going to tap some mana and play the Druid. So, End of his turn, I'm going to tap down his cockatrice. Again, he's at 5, so I just need to get 1 damage in here. I'll play a Sprite, and there's the Crossroads. I will tap down his Timberwolf to take Banning off the table and attack in. Pretty sure I have a Berserk here. That's why I wanted to do that. If you're not familiar with how banding and trample works, is as the blocker with banding, you get to assign all of your damage to your creature, and thus trample is neutralized. So soaks up the entire Berserk. Not great. So he's thinking through his blocks here. Looks like he's blocking my Pixies with his Druid, Sprites on Sprites. Yeah, he's animating his factory. Alright, so factory is going to block the archers, Sprites is going to block the Sprites, and Tracker's going in front of the Pixies, it looks like. So I've got Giant Growth and Berserk. Doesn't really matter who I do it on, just who would I rather keep it, but yeah, that's pumps it up to 10 damage, 2 of it soaked up, 8 comes through, he was at 5, so that's enough to get in. So got a little dicey there at the end with just he was able to clog the board up real good. Made it very difficult for me to be able to get through, especially, until the last couple turns there, only having the one creature in play the whole game. But I was able to chip him down low enough, and the Giant Growth Berserk was able to push through the last bit of damage. So I take game 1. Again, with 7 points, there are no sideboards, so we just shuffle up and go to game 2. Brandon will get to play because I won game 1. And we'll take a look at our opening 7 and see if we got any keepers. So we're both good. Brandon's going to start with a Havenwood tapped. I'm going to go force into a Thallid. Thallid is great in the mono-green matchup just because it generates cheap blockers, and usually they can trade with your opponent's creatures. So Thallid gets counter, I swing in for 1, and then I play an Ankh. If you've seen in other videos, Ankh has been fantastic. Really helps deal lots of good damage. But there's a late Druid after playing a Forest and taking 2. I'm going to play a Factory, drop the 18 myself. Once I remember how to count with a die. I am going to swing with the Thallid, offer to trade. He does not. And then he's able to play a Juggernaut. So I tap. I drop a Swift Mine, I take 2 damage, and I play a Jug of my own. So things are looking pretty even here. Brandon's thinking about what he wants to do. Plays a Forest, drops to 14. And puts a Lure on the Juggernaut. So that's rough. So I go to block, and then after blocks, I create a token. That way the token doesn't die as well. And then second main, he's going to play a Pixie using the late Druid to untap a Forest. So I'm going to throw down a Desert, take 2, and I'm going to swing in with my token. Brennan decides to trade here, which is good for me. Again, because I do have a Factory in play, so that Pixie was going to be a problem. And then I go ahead and Stormseeker him, putting him down to 11, and I pass to him. Brennan's taking his turn. And he's dropping a Suchi. So that's gonna, big guy, be a little bit of a problem. I am gonna crack in here for 2. Giving him the threat of a giant growth or a berserk. See if he's willing to trade. He just takes it, goes to 9, and I just pass back with 4 in hand. He swings in for 4, puts me down to 10, and then plays another cockatrice, or a cockatrice. First one this game, we saw one in game 1. I'm going to play an archers and pass the turn. So I've got some blockers up. I can take care of that Suchi and only lose one of my creatures. But he's got an Elvish Scout, which, if you're not familiar with Elvish Scout, it's basically a Maze of Ith on a stick, but only for your creatures. So very good card. What I definitely overlooked in building my deck, I really want to put one in, so the next iteration will have a Scout. And possibly the Thelonite Druid too. Again, the Druid's pretty great because in a stalled board state, it lets you turn all your lands into creatures at the cost of sacrificing a creature, but that's sometimes enough to go wide at the very end and get in that last bits of damage. So, especially in the singleton type formats where you can't rely on all your bigger stuff. So I just need to get blockers at this point. So I play an If-Biff after taking 2 damage down to 7 from playing a land and pass. So If-Biff's going to help here because I've got 1 green open. If Brandon uses his green to If-Biff, then I will be able to kill his cockatrice. So he swings in with the cockatrice, I block with the If-Biff. Trying to figure out exactly what he's doing here with how he wants to deal damage. So they will kind of bounce off each other, but the cockatrice trigger will kill. So here we are just doing some if-biff damage to each other. And he's getting another one in. So at the end of the day, I end up on 3, he ends up on 4. Both our flyers are dead. He was thinking about being able to use the Elvish Scout to untap it, but then I remind him that no, the if-biff stuff did it, and Desert also getting in there is not combat damage. Even though it happens in the combat step, it's not combat damage, and Elvish Scout, much like Maze of Ith, only prevents combat damage. So he is going to lose the cockatrice. He decides not to use the Scout then, keep it up as a blocker. So I'm gonna take my turn, gonna grow close here on life. Looks like I'm activating the factory and swinging in. I believe my play here is I have a Hurricane in hand. And I am trying to get him lower than my life so that I can kill him. So he does block, which means I'm going to die on his crackback. So what I do is I play a land, I go to 1, and then I Hurricane for 4, killing us both, ending the game in a draw, and moving us to game 3. So again, for those of you not familiar, we always say it's best out of 3, but that's not true. It's first to 2 wins, especially in untimed matches like the webcam matches. So right now I am 1-0-1 in this one. So Brandon still needs to win 2 games. If he wins game 3, it doesn't mean the match is a draw. But Because the game ended in a draw, Brandon still retains the choice to play, because the last time, you just basically repeat the game. So Brandon is going to take the draw, or the play, sorry. And we'll go on to a game 3. So again, I'm up 1-0, and we have the draw. So I've got to win 1, Brandon's still got to win 2. So looks like we're both good with our hands. Brandon plays a force and passes. I play a force into a Naf's Asp. He goes ahead and strips my forest, plays an elf, and passes. So I've got another forest. I'm swinging for 1, putting him at 19, and then I just pass back. We were just talking about how the Asp works. Again, you have to pay before your draw step, so you can pay during the upkeep, or you can actually pay during the end step if you have mana. He didn't have any available mana at that time, so he had to pay. Or take a damage, he decided to pay. So I swing in again, put him to 18, and then play a archer. He has a dervish in play, which can get out of hand. And then he plays a juggernaut. So he did take a damage that turn from the extra asp. I play a desert. That is going to allow me to trade my archers for his juggernaut when he attacks. And then I play a dryad, which is going to be great in this map. I mean, it's only a 1/1, but the force walk is really going to come up, I think, and allow me to get in a lot of unblockable damage, which will be good. So, yep, he swings in with a juggernaut, I block, and then end of combat, use a desert to do the third. And he's got an Urnum. So, obviously that Urnum's going to give my dryad force walk, so double force walking. I come in, putting him down to 16, and then I play a Fire Sprites. So again, in my deck, I don't have any red, so Fire Sprites is literally just a 1/1 flyer, but sometimes that's good enough. Having evasion and green is pretty good. So he's going to crack in with the Urnum. I'm going to drop to 16. And then he's going to play a book. So I draw. I crack in for 2, putting him at 14. And then I play a Night Soil. So right now, Night Soil is not active because there's only 1 creature in each graveyard. But once it gets start getting creatures in there, I'm going to be able to start making tokens, and those will be good chump blockers to keep that Urnum from damaging me, which is why I throw the Aspen from the Urnum here. And then he plays a Nif-Biff. So yeah, end of turn, I'm going to remove my 2 tokens, my 2 creatures to make a. It looks like I forgot to actually remove them out of my graveyard, but I don't think it will matter. We'll hopefully catch that. He did use the If-Biff to deal us each a damage and take out my sprites. I swing in for 1, and then I drop a forest and I blow up his If-Biff as well. So I'm on 12, he's on 6. It's going to get pretty dicey here. It's a 6-turn clock for me with the Dryads, but only a 3-turn clock for him with just the Urnum. He is going to Desert Twister my Night Soil. I'm going to remove his 2 things to make another token. So, and it's gone. Again, I have 2 creatures in my graveyard that shouldn't be there. I missed taking those out, but luckily that didn't end up mattering. Had I removed mine to make the token, that might have been a little bit of an unfair advantage, but luckily he was able to take it out of his. I swing in, I chumped, he attacked with the Urnum, I chumped, then I crack back with both my guys. He throws a Dervish in front of one of my sapling token and takes the 1, and then I play a Spider. So he's at 8, I'm at 12. gonna start getting pretty tight for me here, I think. I mean, that Urnum is... Oh, yeah, there's a lure on the Urnum, so I have to block. And then he plays in archers, so like, just all the creatures there on Brandon's side. I put him down to 7, and then I play an Icy. So Icy will help. I can't activate it this turn, but gonna be able to slow down his attack and maybe make the race work for me. He is gonna crack it for 7 though, which is gonna put me to 5. So that's a problem. And then he plays a Sprite, so keeps dropping stuff down. Play a Forest. Looks like I got a Winter Orb, so at least that'll help stop the book. And then I crack in, put him at 6, and pass the turn. So I'm going to be able to tap the Urnum down. I will potentially take 4 and go to 1. But I will be able to kill the archers with the desert after I take damage. Yeah, so there he's going to attacks. I'm going to tap down the Urnum. And yeah, he swings with everything. Puts me to 1, and then, yep, I take out his archers there. And then I crumble my own Winter Orb to go up to 3 and be able to untap. Swinging for 1, put him to 5. That might let me win the race, but it all depends. He's got a book again, so he draws a card. So, and then in his draw step, I Stormseeker him. In response, he Giant Growths, and that will do it. So having that Giant Growth, I can tap down the Urnum, but I'm still going to take 4. So, great job there by Brandon, having that Giant Growth. I'm not sure if he just drew that turn, or if that's what he drew. Obviously, he had to draw it from either the book or his top deck that turn, but very close game there. So Brandon takes that one down. We are 1-1-1 going into game 4. See who takes this down and moves on to the finals. So I'll be on the play, which is, again, where my deck wants to be. And we'll see which green mage comes out on top. We shuffle up here. Take a look at our 7. See if we have keepers. Looks like Brandon is going to mulligan. I am keeping my hand. And we'll see if Brandon's next 7 is a keeper, or if he's going to have to keep going down. So he keeps 6, puts 1 on the bottom, and off we go. Forest, Mox, Ankh. That's great. That's going to give me lots of early damage in. He goes Forest, takes 2 into an Elvish Scout. I'm going to play my own Forest, take 2. I'm going to play a Dark Elf. And put an Aspect of Wolf on it. So right now it's just a 2-2. Gets plus X plus Y for number of forests. Rounded down for power, rounded up for toughness. He plays a land, takes 2, and plays a Dervish. I play another forest, so it makes my guy a 2-3. I crack in, and then I play an Urnum. So, finally starting to see, on my end, a good amount of creatures and hitting the curve, not passing the turn, which had been a problem in the previous games a little bit. He's got a factory on his end, which drops him to 12. I am going to give the Scout Forest Walk. Play a pile. And swing in. So he's going to throw the Scout in front of the Urnum. And take 2, going down to 10. And I'll pass back. He plays another forest, goes to 8. swings in for the dervish, putting me at 15. And then looks like he played another land, so kind of missed that a little bit, but that's fine. It plays a Suchi. So in this case, I'm just gonna crack in with the Urnum. He's thinking about whether he wants to block. He does throw it in front. He's going to throw his mana into that, and then I'm going to use the pile to blow up that, take out off the land. I play a Pendelhaven, which can drop me to 13, and then throw a Juggernaut down. So, looking pretty good on my end. Brandon plays another land, which puts him down to 6, and then drops a Cockatrice. That will force a trade, but... so I'll Hurricane for 4, take out his Cockatrice. That puts him down to 2, and then I swing in with everything. He can only block 1, and that is the game. So, really good games, as you would expect in the mono green. Very close, back and forth. Lots of fun. So congrats to Brandon on an excellent run. Made it all the way to the semifinals, the top 4. But I take him down, and I'm off to the finals for a rematch with Pez Unholy, who is my round 1 opponent. So that match will be coming soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.